Oh my goodness. What a start. Oh, that's okay. Ooh, excuse me. Apologize for the few minute late start. Mrs. and I are planning a date night tomorrow, so we were been joking around, and I realized it was a few minutes past the start time. So I'm gonna make sure audio is doing a okay. Ooh, 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 ooh. Let's change the screen quick. Don't need to show off the YouTube stuff. There you go. Oh yeah, we're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. All right. Okay. All right. So we've got a news stream. We've got kind of like an Outlook stream, and then we've just kind of got like some discussion stuff because like we don't really know much about the -1 sequel except for the fact that it is confirmed to be an actual -1 sequel. It's not just another Yamazaki directed film, which is why I waited on saying anything about it because I hadn't gotten the for sure. But it seems like it's fully confirmed. Toho said themselves. So, and then other people who are working on it. I think like one of the SFX directors stated that she like went and saw Minecraft and was like now she wants to make sure that there's a verses in there or like if it can be in there, you know. So like other things like that. You know, it is what you know. It is what it is. I wanted to make sure, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. We've got the Godzilla manga. I believe it's like Godzilla Galaxy Battles or something like that. We got the official poster for that. That's probably going to be a little long because I'm interested to see what you guys have to say about it. Because personally, for me, we're gonna switch to this camera real quick until we're actually like in talking about the news. Um, I'm curious to see what y'all think because I've been hearing a lot of people. The, um, sorry, we're finishing up this plan here. Ouch. But some I've been seeing a lot of like criticism, and not like nice criticism either. I've been seeing some pretty I don't know. I don't want to say rudeness because like opinion is opinion, but like we see one panel of it, and I get that this one panel is supposed to sell you on it, but at the same time, it's like it's a manga. Like you know, if you look at the first cover, the first artwork for like Naruto and stuff, and like you know, like I wish people would just kind of like give it a sec rather than calling it like you know I've seen a lot of people just flat out calling it shit, which is just that's not criticism. That's just being mean, you know. But we'll get there when we get there. We'll talk about the toys first because I think more people want to hear about the toys, which a lot of it isn't new. In fact, mainly the only thing we're going to be talking about is me doing me doing my best to be to have fair criticism to the 2.0 movie monster series figures that got revealed last week. Yeah, last week because now it's Monday. Excuse me. Now it's Monday, so it's the start of the new week. This today. Talking about those 2.0, the 95 duo. Okay, so we're going to talk about those. We're going to talk about Omega a little bit because obviously it's Omega. Ultraman Omega, the next show, mainly just the figure arts. I'm excited for the show. I like the design, although there is something about the figure that's weird when you compare it to the trailer. So I guess we're just going to start there. We're going to start here. Here's Omega right here. Looks pretty cool, huh? Sorry, I gotta fix my layout really quick. There we go. Okay, Omega looks super cool. I'm actually really happy about the design when we saw it, or when I was hearing whispers about what the design could be from leakers when there wasn't any official photos. There was just kind of like mock drawings. I was a little worried when I heard the ultras that it was kind of looking like, and then we got the silhouette, and I was already like, I was pretty damn sold. And then we got the full trailer, I feel like a little early, and then we got the figure arts reveal, and the figure arts looks awesome. This solidified my love for this design. This design is baller, just flat baller. I am very excited to see. Sorry, I thought I saw something weird with his elbows. I thought they looked like single joints for a second, so I had to look over at some of my other figure arts and be like, are these single joints? No, these are doubles. I'm super excited to see this figure in action. So we'll just close that one out. And we've got this all. We've got the photo section of this organized this time. Dude, like, just looking at this design, it's crazy. It's crazy, man. I love it. Big fan. Big fan. Sorry, I'm messing with things. I'm trying to get my my OBS in a good spot, but I'm just not. I'm not getting it. I'm gonna be honest. This is, yeah, okay. We're gonna stop messing with it now, so I'm not distracted. But it looks pretty good. The only thing that's wrong with this is that in the trailer, he seems to have more yellow-ish eyes than blue, and I saw a lot of people, especially like the Japanese fans and collectors, commenting about that. So I don't know quite what's going on there. I don't know if that's just an aesthetic choice for the trailer, or like some of the episodes it'll be like if he's fired up or not. So then we're gonna maybe see that he has two, forms. I don't fully know what's going on here. I haven't read any of the story leaks. I'm not, I'll just deal with those, when they come out. Like, I'm gonna just watch it, so super excited. He looks poseable, which, I mean, almost all of these Ultramen always are. They've kind of got it down. I feel like since Trigger, they've really had like the new generation figures just great, as long as it's a new mold. Trigger was really articulated and had a lot of range, more than Jeed, which I think this new gen Stars version fixed some of those, but not like, it's still basically the same. It's kind of like Zero. I don't look forward to getting Zero because that old Zero figure arts just kind of sucks when it comes to articulation range. The bicep swivel sucks. The elbows don't really turn because they hadn't really figured that out yet, in a safe way at least. The legs are limited. The body is super limited. The guy can't leech forward at all. He's just straight, kind of like this pose. This is kind of a weird pose with him just kind of straight up like that, so hopefully that's not suggesting he doesn't have a really good chest and waist joint. That's actually a little scary to think about. Hopefully they don't mess that up with him. Just interesting. Okay, I do like the design. I do like the shading. I like the silver. I like the red that they chose for the figure. Here's an awesome pose. Here's him with the, I think was called the Omega Slugger. I think. Not for sure. I'm pretty sure. I like the color timer. We do have we did get the description of the figure, so there is a red color timer, but I only had 5 photos and none of them had the red color timer in there, so I don't know if they're hiding that. But that's what the production, the listings say. I believe that was Nin Games or Hobby Link Japan had the color timer change in there, but I couldn't find the photo for it. Once again, the eyes look pretty cool. This is the second head, obviously, because the slugger is out of his head, so it looks good. See, here he's got actual waist articulation. I don't know why that last photo they didn't use it. And here's my favorite photo of the bunch. This is you younger kids or younger generations, not just kids, talking about like aura farming and stuff. Like, this is aura farming right here. I'm gonna be honest, this is aura farming. Look at this crazy pose. Oh, it's not a crazy pose, it's just really awesome looking. This is really well shot. Whoever takes the photographs knew exactly what they were doing with this photo. I'm just impressed. Sorry. Sorry. Trying to answer things, trying to keep up with that, trying to keep up with this. Ooh. Busy night. And that's okay. That's fine. Gonna go see Star Wars Episode 3 tomorrow night. Very excited. Very, very excited. And then we still need to go see Sinners, and we still need to go Until Dawn. So, although Until Dawn seems kind of 50-50 split for movies, Sinners has been just... I haven't heard one bad thing about that movie yet. So I'm more eager to go to that than she is. She's interested, but she's like, if it's going to be like a scary horror movie, she wants it to be like a scary horror movie. And we've been kind of told it's not quite like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm fine with it. But she's especially right now, she's been in a very horror mood lately. She just wants to watch gruesome things. So Until Dawn's a little bit more her speed. But we've kind of been a little hesitant with it. What are your thoughts on the 2.0? Oh, Alex, that's next. That's next right now. That's next. I got a little distracted. Okay, so Omega's good. I got one pre-ordered. We're good. Alex, to answer your question, literally the next photo, the next slides. We're gonna take some time with this one. So let me say the good things first. The good thing first, this is just the 94 mold. The new 94 mold that they just released. But I'm not crazy about the paint. I'm not crazy about a lot of things. Here. Oh, this little... Ugh, okay. I'm trying to get this to work here. I'm trying to make sure that I can see your guys' comments while also not... I want to still make sure that I can kind of see my screen on OBS. Okay, there we go. Okay, I can see you guys great. I can still see what I'm doing. Okay, so I don't have the photo from the back. So there is a photo of the back. The dorsal plates are super orange. They almost look translucent. They look like they're cast in an orange vinyl. To which case is really disappointing because, one, I just think this figure flat out should have been a translucent. And 100% the G-Store is going to do that. There's no question. The Millennium Godzilla already got a translucent version with the dorsal plates. So the Kiryu and G2 are fantastic. The hell happened? Yeah. Once again, I think this figure only suffers because it's the 94 mold. I get it's the same suit, but I'm not crazy about this figure, okay? And I think it's even more apparent here. The legs just look wrong. This area, well, you guys can't see it, but this whole bottom section doesn't work. He looks like he's a human with his anatomy, where his legs are and the position. Like, this is not how the suit looks. And I felt like there was a huge gap. Like, the hip should be right up in here, I felt like, when I saw this initially. And I feel like it's because the tail is scooped all the way down. I don't know. There's something weird about the posture. And I've secretly really never liked the 94 very much. So seeing it on the Burning Godzilla is not good. I also just think this is a terrible pose for the 95 Burning Godzilla. I think it looks terrible. This is not the pose you want him in. He wants to be more aggressive, yeah, and he's too thin. I think it works for 94. I don't know why he looks so much thicker as 95. And maybe it's just because I've been programmed that way to think that 95's thicker, because X Plus, Yuji Sakai himself even, they somehow always make 95 just look thicker and bulkier than 94, even though they are almost literally the exact same suit. It's too thin. The 94 mold I wasn't too impressed by either. The head looks way too much like 91. I can see that. I can see where that kind of does look like the 91. Hey, Sharktopus, how's it going? How's it going, buddy? I can see that. I can see that comparison. Now, is this better than the original figure? Probably, yeah. He's probably objectively probably still better than the older Movie Monster series. Do I like it more than the older one? No. But, I also like the 2015, 2017 painted release. So, I can't really say anything because people hated that release. The craze for this mold was the 2002, the translucent version, which I just never got, because like it was like $50-$60 by the time I was ready to buy it. And then when that new one released, it was like, oh, I got that one for like $15, I think, when I initially had bought it. He looks very strange. Yeah, Sharktopus. He is, something just doesn't look weird. Is the older one the one from Monster Island Buddies? Yeah, yeah. I think he uses the Bandai one, not the Bandai Creation, the 2002 American release one, which that was my first one. That was the very, very first one I had, which is like, I don't like this paint job, and I do like this paint job because the red reminds me of that figure, but that is also inaccurate. So it's cool looking though. It's just, and then the dorsal plates, if these are painted orange, they just don't match any of the orange here. In fact, I would say this red almost looks a little like mustardy red and yellow, like if you mix ketchup and mustard. You know, it doesn't look great. Now, by saying that, I also am accepting the red patches on the neck and shoulders. Yeah, and that's a big thing. But I've noticed they've done that. Sometimes they say that this is early movie. Like when you see him in Hong Kong, he doesn't have as much in this area. I don't know why. I don't know why it looks like that, because it does kind of look that way in the movie, in a shot or two. But it's also the same suit, and the suit, I mean, that's integrated. Like there isn't a way to like fix that, you know, or change that. So for me, it's like, oh well, he's not like as bad, but it's still not accurate either. So yeah, you're absolutely right, Alex. It's not, and that also throws it off as well. I think his whole body is just a little too wide, long, tall. I think it's it. You want that figure Shark Twist? Yeah, it was awesome. Like I said, I never got to own the original 2002 Burning Godzilla from Japan, but I had the Bandai one, the American one, and then I did have the 2015-16 release of the 1.0 Burning Godzilla. So yeah, Godzilla looks weird. It's not great. I don't know if I want to say it's bad either though, but it's not good. And then what's this down here? Does he got some burning on his foot? Did they like slop some gold paint on accident down there? That's interesting. I wish I had the photo. Oh my god. You can't see it here. There you go. I forget this photo is like a little bit smaller than the other ones. There you go. I just looked up Hong Kong. He absolutely has the neck and shoulder. Okay. See, someone is footing me, because that's what I remember it being on there. But then there was someone who like wrote like a two-page essay on it way back when, and they're like, no, you can't see it. And I'm pretty sure they just grabbed a really bad photo now. So I had always just thought it was always the same thing, but I also left it to just like whatever, you know, just in case if I ended up being wrong. But I was wrong anyways. Like, my instinct was this, but that is not what I said, so I am absolutely in the wrong here. that I will accept that. I will accept that. I was wrong. So even though my instincts and everything from my childhood knew that this is correct, Alex, it just sometimes it slips. It slips, you know. Destroya is. Can we talk about just this little circular spray on its crotch? That's so weird. It's so weird. And then like they don't even finish the mouth chest hole. This sculpt is better. This is probably the best Destroya sculpt out of the vinyls, out of the two Bandai Japan ones and the Bandai US one. It's hairy down. Well, hey, there's no judgment there. You know, people do what they want to do. If Destroya wants to go out and kill Godzilla with burning bush, I guess that's just how it goes. Like, I like this sculpt. The sculpt is better, but the paint is bad. Okay, here's a few things. I'll get to the paint in a second. I know I was just making fun of it, but let me point this out. These are the old wings. I want to point out these are the old 97 wings, excuse me, from the original Destroyer release. You can tell by how they're molded. They don't look the same. The detail is not the same. These are old. These are the old wings put on a new figure, which, by the way, I don't have the photo, and I'm not going to be able to find it because I have to go through DMs, and I'm not going to sit here and have you guys stare at a blank screen while I go on a hunt down my DMs. I know I sent it to Adam. There was a photo, a promotional photo with these two figures next to each other, and if you guys know the 2016-27 release, the second sculpt for it in the new wave of Movie Monster series, that one is even smaller than the original one. I'm willing to bet that this is the smallest of the three. The from that photo on Instagram, this looked very, very, very tiny. I mean, 4 inches, 4.5 inches, maybe 5 if you put the wings and the horn up. The sculpt is great, but I don't know why they just made it smaller, especially when we already got told there's a new line starting, the Movie Monster series King line or something like that, and it's supposed to be large sculpts, and the starting figure for this line is Destroya. I thought they would just skip a 2.0 Destroya, or the 2.0 Destroya was going to be that instead. So it could be actually in scale finally, or hell, even if it's too large. Wait, Destroya is so small? Yeah. That's what Bandai does. All the tall kaiju just get small. They get nerfed. I mean, even this time around, the Mechagodzilla 93, they made both the regular one and the Super Mechagodzilla small. In fact, the regular 93 is taller than the Super Mechagodzilla. It's super dumb. I don't know why, because they already charge more for these because the wings, like every Destroya, every King Ghidorah is always like 1,000, 1,200, 1,300 yen more than the Godzillas on average, most of the time. So I don't know. I do know, at least, even though this Destroyer is smaller, it is probably still the same amount of vinyl that's on the Godzilla, and they are the same price. So this one's not more, but it also doesn't look like it has articulation. The legs don't look like they have a cut, or at least like an unglued cut. The arms don't have it, so the only things that are going to move are the wings, and then the wings are the old ones, so they kind of don't look right. They look a little large, a little goofy. Okay. Yeah, super weird. I don't know what they're thinking. I'm not impressed. And that's sad, because I was going to buy the 2.0's. I was going to start collecting them, but now, unless I'm going somewhere with a signature and the signatures line up, nah. And I'm definitely not. I don't think there's any world that I buy this Destroya and I buy that Burning Godzilla. Just not for me. I've got the Monster Arts Godzilla, Burning Godzilla, and hopefully we get a 30th anniversary Destroya. Okay. Godzilla Galaxy Odyssey is what this is called. Okay, I'm going to just let this sit here for a second. I want to look at it. I'm going to take another drink. I just want to look at this. I really want to... I want to see what people are saying. I know a lot of people don't like this design. I'm a little confused, personally. So when I look at this personally, I see Singular Point in the arms here. That's very Singular Point. And then I see like Final Wars and Kiryu Goji in here. And then we have the Atragon or the Gotengo here in the back, or something equivalent to them. I won't say that's exactly what they are, but this a big, Megalon, unless this is like Megalon, and Megalon's a Transformer, but you can kind of see like I personally do not like this design. Yeah, see, I don't see it. I'm down with it. Like, maybe it's because I just kind of figured that the design wasn't going to be crazy because it's a manga. Oh shit, he has his knee spikes as well. Okay, I'm calling it. This is getting a Monster Arts. This is 100%. This has got to get a Monster Arts. One of the things I really like, so like even the dorsal plates, this intersection is like really Singular Point, but then Sharktopus. The rest is kind of like Space Godzilla. He looks crystally. But then you go down here and it looks like they're just all these almost look like diamonds. They don't look like they're technically a part of him. I'm very curious to see, even, the breath. One thing, and I immediately, the second I saw this, I sent this to Adam, Thirsty Thursday Toys, because he doesn't like toys with gaps. And there's a literal, like, look at this. There's not even like a dorsal plate that goes here. So it's this big gap, and then you got this huge gap between dorsal plates. I knew he wasn't gonna like it, so I sent it to him. It's like, bro, Toho trying to mess you up, dude. He doesn't quite know how to feel yet on this design. And I won't speak for his either. If he wants to share it, he can share it, which I'm sure he will at some point. It's different. It's different, and yet it's not different. It's safe. Like the actual body itself, besides these knee spikes and these gauntlet spikes, even though these have been done, it's pretty safe. Like it, admittingly, I saw someone said it's very derivative, and it's like, I can't deny it. It's kind of like Final Wars and Kiryugoji meshed into one when you look at the tail, not looking at the dorsal plates. Like, I mean, if you cut it off like right here, so you can look at almost the whole tail, the body, and then you see singular point. And I mean, the knee spikes are new. I mean, we can't deny that the knee spikes are new, but like, it's cool. I like it. It's a small design choice. I like it. I like these. This looks like the top of Singular Point's head. Maybe this might go into Singular Point. I mean, this logo is very Star Wars related. Am I the only one that thinks that? This looks very Star Wars. There's no way this is not a Star Wars reference. It's just how the font looks. It looks very, I should say, classic Star Wars. The first 4, 5, and 6. The 3 classic movies. I'd say the prequels and onwards have kind of moved away. Like, even if you look at the Star Wars logo in Japanese, and Singular Point, I think it holds both, which probably is just both. Whoever designed this and the Singular Point were probably just referencing Star Wars a little bit, especially because this is going to be a Galaxy Space Odyssey. Like, this is going to maybe deal with like space travel. I don't think Godzilla's of this world. I almost, we see this design and it does look very like military, like Earth. This could be like an alien. Like, this could be the first time like Godzilla's like an alien, just like, hypothesizing. Excuse me. I think this comes out next month, or the first chapter. I don't know where we're going to be able to actually read this US side. I know you'll be able to pirate it, of course, which I personally prefer not doing. I only do that with manga that I buy the manga for. So, I mean, I've only done it with 2 manga. Otherwise, all the other ones have been official sources. Been pretty strict about that rule. And the one of the 2 that I did, I have every single volume for in English so far. Besides 1, I think actually no 2. 1 came out last April for My Dress Up Darling, or a few weeks ago. I need to catch up on My Dress Up Darling, and then not 2.5. Change Soldier is the other anime that I'm reading, but that one doesn't really have an English release yet either. So like, it's got a few volumes out, so I gotta buy those 2. But I'm curious to see how I'm gonna be able to read this, because this probably isn't going to be in my Viz app or my Shonen Jump app, regrettably. So I'm curious to see what's going on. This design gives me a lot of ideas, a lot of speculation, but like at the same time, it's like it could be anything. He doesn't look of this Earth, but at the same time, that doesn't mean he's an alien either. But it'd be kind of cool to have like an alien Godzilla that gets brought around, kind of like what Final Wars, except instead of other kaiju, it's actually Godzilla. That'd be kind of fun. Cool callback, I guess. I don't know how crazy other people would be about it, though. But, I mean, the Godzilla community is kind of all up in different spots. I don't have a photo for it. Vortox Godzilla. That'd be cool. Yeah, from Unleashed and Save the Earth. That would be so much fun. And, maybe that's what they're going for. We have... I guess saying that we've had some pretty crazy like IDW comics of Godzilla, and some of the legendary ones are also kind of weird. So like, you know, now this is coming out of home base of Toho, so I'm curious to see what's going to happen. We do know that the Godzilla rules are still in effect, which he can't emote. You know, he can't necessarily die. Like, he can die, but he can't die. Can't emote. I forgot a few of the other rules that Yamazaki was stating that they can't do with Godzilla. So, or what Toho prefers Godzilla not to do. Sometimes they kind of, you know, bend the rules. I wonder if there's going to be evolutions with this, if he's going to change. Like, if it, you know, are the other kaiju going to have these like crystal designs implemented? If this is like being based off of the games, could we see Crystal Lock? Like, I don't think Toho owns the right to that character, but yet there is a stamp for it out there. So like a Toho stamp. So like, do they not? Godzilla never gonna dance again. We could that we so I should have specified. He can't like emotionally emote. So like he probably might dance again, but he can't like smile. He can't like anything out of like a natural like snarl and roar. Like he can't smile. He's not supposed to smile, even though 2021 they did get that grin in there. So he can't like smile. He can't like frown. I'm gonna guess crying is there, even though admittingly, like, if one of these movies were to like go for the heartstrings, kind of like -1, and like have Godzilla cry at something, I feel like that'd be pretty, you know, pretty sad. But I know there would probably be a ton of Godzilla fans that also would really, really hate that. So, you know, I'll let Toho decide if that's a safe bet. That would be, it'd have to be done really right. Even though I'm down for the idea, it'd have to be done right, and I don't know if they got it in them. I'm gonna be real. That might be one of those scenes that's maybe just a little bit too perfect to actually do. So, in my opinion, but they're welcome to change. That was the best part of 91. Yeah, see, and that's the thing. Like, it's been done once, and technically twice with 95, and I think both those instances really, really make sense, and they're really working. They're very powerful. Like, it was like last week or the week before, the girlfriend and I were watching 95, and it was her first like real time sitting down watching it, and she definitely felt something. She was I remember she was like, I don't want to watch anything emotional or sad. So I was like, oh, so you want to do a Godzilla movie? And then I accidentally chose Destroy, and I was like, shit. And I was like, oh yeah, this is good fun film. It's great. And she was asking me questions about it throughout, because she's like, I'm kind of confused. It sounds like there's something before this. I was like, well, technically you have to watch all the Heisei era movies in order from 84 to here. And she's like, oh, so I explained some things for her. I was like, we'll go through and we'll, you know, semi-marathon it. We'll, you know, watch one movie every few days. She really likes Biollante, your poor girlfriend. Yeah, and then we got to that, and she's like, oh, this is not... You said... I said no sad movies. I'm like, I know, I forgot. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I needed to watch this movie. It's really good, dude. Couldn't just put on Final Wars. Matt would agree with you, and we've already watched Final Wars. She wasn't the greatest. She didn't hate it, but she wasn't also necessarily really in love with it either. She was pretty middle of the road. She's just like, yeah, it was good. Don't know if I would really want to watch that one again. And we've already seen her and I already watched the Kiryu movies. I think her and I are done with Millennium. I think her and I have watched every Millennium film. Maybe haven't shown her Megaguirus, but that might be it. I can't remember if I've shown her Megaguirus or not. Otherwise, she's seen the rest for Millennium. She hasn't seen a lot of Heisei. We are... sometimes we don't really get a lot of time to watch movies, so we'll watch like 20-30 minutes of a movie if we don't have like a YouTube video to watch. And we'll watch like 20-30 minutes of that movie. We've done that a few times. We're not quite done with 84 yet, which this would be her first time watching it. She loves Biollante. She loves Biollante. She loves watching that film. She'll watch that film without me, and I'll get a little butthurt. Because she'll watch that and like Hedora without me. It's like I could sit down and watch those films any day of the week, all the time. I love those films. Um, and then she, through because of HBO Max is why she's starting to see these films now. She did watch King Ghidorah '91. Um, and then her and I have also watched it, and she was a big fan. She likes Ghidorah a lot, so easy to do. Hedora, she has really good taste. Yeah, she's in the weirder films. She also really loves Shin Godzilla, so like, she's into the weird kind of like Godzilla films that don't really mesh with the other ones. I would say Hedora feels nothing like any of the other films, even compared to the Showa standards. Biollante sticks out in a good way, like a sore thumb, to the Heisei movies. In a very, very good. I might watch Biollante after the stream. I'm going to be honest. I love Biollante. I never give that film enough credit. That film is amazing. And that only my appreciation for '89 for versus Biollante is only as high as it's only as high now because Adam, that's his film. He loves that film, and it's his appreciation and love for that film that made me realize how strong of a movie that is. And now I've watched it so much, and I can just be like, yeah, no, Adam was right. This movie's cooking. This movie's so good. And then she hasn't seen Mothra '93 or '94 yet. I think we tried Space Godzilla, and it was the day she wasn't feeling good, and I ended up finishing it without her. Has she watched Revenge yet? Yes. She not the craziest fan about it. It. I don't want to put words in her mouth because when we watched it, we were very unsober. This was a few years ago. I'm pretty sure she said something along the lines like the movie's almost too much like a meme, like it's a meme movie almost. She doesn't understand peak. I don't blame her. Revenge is a very hard film to understand and to really appreciate. And I don't blame people not liking '69 either. It admittingly is a pretty tough film, but I think once you sit down and you really look at how Honda meant for that film, and you understand like the profitability and like the situation that the Godzilla series was in at the time, I feel like it's a lot easier to understand what was going on with Revenge. Now, once again, I don't mind if people don't like the film, but that's just kind of how I've looked at it. I have a lot of respect for that film, a lot of respect. To be honest, the -1 sequel, and we'll get to, Alex will actually talk about that in a second. Do not want to see Shikishima Shuffer. If it takes place in the '70s, I don't know. I feel very guarded towards -1. That's fair. -1 like is, man, dude, it's lightning in a bottle. It's undeniable that okay. Most of the community, I would say like 95% of the community probably, maybe 90% would agree. Like this movie is -1 is definitely something special. I know there's definitely some people who don't like it, and that's okay. That's okay. Once again, it's okay. We all interpret things differently. The film's crazy. I love it. At first, I wasn't crazy about a sequel, but the ending of the film definitely suggests sequel. There was always the open idea of being able to do a sequel. They just, I'm in agreement with a lot of people that it's like it has to be done right. Really don't think it should be a direct sequel. I know a lot of people have thrown out the idea that they're all timepieces, but they're in different eras. So like, yeah, if we can move up into the '60s or the '70s, maybe even the '80s, like something like that. But then like most of the cast that's in this movie are gone, dead, or too old. And that really doesn't work with Noriko's story unless, there's extra shenanigans there, which technically with her there already is, because there's absolutely no way that she should have been able to live what she did without whatever's in her neck, whatever it is, which we pretty much know it's Godzilla something related to Godzilla cells, more than likely, or blood, whatever it may be. because we don't know for sure yet. They've teased it. It was obviously, they meant for the scene to be even bigger. They meant to be a sound to play during it. um so they never were against the idea of a sequel, but I also feel like even with that idea, the film does cut off to be a single film as well. Like it definitely doesn't need a single, or a sequel. Sorry, I've been talking about I was talking about music before stream a little bit with a friend, so I'm saying single, but another sequel. It doesn't need it, but if he can do it right, and I'm willing to trust Yamazaki and the Toho team, I think they're going to be able to do it. Once again, I do agree with people. I think it should be in the 60s, 70s. Like, there's already shenanigans with Noriko, so they can kind of, keep her young and make everyone else old. Do a Evangelion thing with the Shin Evangelion. I should be specific for 3.0 and 4.0. The movies are old now, so I'm not going to be like, oops, spoilers. At those point, we learned that being an Eva pilot's a curse, and you actually can't age, or you age so much slower than everyone else around you. So that's why by the time 3.3 happens, even though it's like 7-10 years, something like that, after the 2.0, 2.22, excuse me, Asuka, Mari, technically Rei, and then Shinji all still look like they're teenagers, even though technically Asuka should be like 20 or 30 something. Mari should be older than that, because she's not as young as she's on the older side of the kids. So and then there's other shenanigans with Mari, but those aren't really confirmed. Yeah, Hunter. Yeah, I see. I'm also guarded. I'm a little worried. Ooh, Shark Pussy also said something. I'll be honest, even though I'm a huge Millennium fan, I really hope we don't go. See, yeah, and that's also the thing. It's like I don't want reboots almost every film either. So like one of the films, if we look at our 2 live action Reiwa movies, we've only got 2 live action, because the anime trilogy has, it's a trilogy. It was either Shin or -1 was going to have to be the one with the experiment. And as much as I love Shin, and as much as I want a sequel to Shin, because there's so much that was cut out on the cutting board floor that they could use for a sequel, I also know that Ano isn't great with sequels, and not in the way that he makes bad sequels, but they take a long time, and he gets overstressed, he gets overpressured, he gets very depressed, which is why he's not working on sequels right now for anything. There was a rumor that maybe a Kamen Rider, if there's one out of his movies that are going to get a sequel, there's something saying that maybe Masked Rider, Kamen Rider might be getting the sequel. So no Shin 2, no Shin Ultraman 2, no Shin Godzilla 2. Probably. I'd say Shin Man 2 is more likely than Shin Godzilla. And then we already know Evangelion is actually being continued without Ano involved, supposedly at all. So he's working on Battleship Yamada. He's making a big anniversary project. He said it's his last big project before he dies. He says it's going to take years to come out. And then he's doing small things. He worked on Gundam. I don't know how to pronounce it. GQX, I think, something like that. Whatever it is, the new Prime show for Gundam. He wrote the script for that, and then of course his company Gen X helped design the Gundams. And you can really, I didn't watch this week's episode. It very much feels like Eva, in a different way, and it's really, really nice. It's very welcomed. Wow, I didn't know Evangelion. Yes, this was announced, I think it was either the beginning of this year or last year. Gen X was talking about, or not Gen X, it was a different company that they're working on an Eva story, and they were asked if Ano was involved, and Ano's done with Eva. So, and that makes me more nervous than like a -1 sequel. I'll be honest. That's like, Eva is Ano. Like, not to wank the man, but like Ava is Anno, and Anno is in due part not completely Ava, because I know he also doesn't like to be compared that way, but Ava would not be here without him. So it's gonna be different, and I'm gonna try it if it comes out, if it ever comes out, because there's a lot of projects like this that we hear about. Anime go through this every year where it's like, a company will say, oh, this is coming back, and then it never does. Dragon Ball Super's been in that hell for the last few years, and now obviously the last 2 years we've actually gotten to figure out why that is. But it could be a company saying they're going to do this, and then it just doesn't happen because it can't get off the drawing board floor, which is respectable. This is something very highly regarded. It is going to be tough. Which you could say the same thing for this Godzilla manga and the -1 sequel. Like, it's going to be tough. I think the sequel for -1 will be out next year. It wouldn't surprise me. Although, if they wanted to wait until 2028 or 2029, I would definitely say, Yamazaki, take your damn time. If that's how long he would think he would need to take to come out to make it, to be able to compare to -1, take it. I would rather not have a rushed project. It's why I'm kind of happy that the Monsterverse is slowing down a little bit. I thought they were gonna, once we knew a sequel was coming after New Empire, I was kind of like, oh, they're gonna just this one right out. Nope, they're taking their time. 3 years. 3 years is a good time. And then a new director, basically a whole new cast besides Trapper. Like, I'm pretty excited for it. I hope it's a little serious. I'm not liking that the reports are coming out saying that it is another Godzilla and Kong film, but let's wait until we for sure know. Kind of like New Empire. We all but knew that it was another duo film, but we didn't fully know. But it does sound like whatever this will be, JVK or JXK2 or whatever. But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on the manga and the -1 sequel. We kind of wrap those both together. I'm cautiously optimistic with both. Yeah, the music is done by the guy who did Skull Island. Yes. Yes. Dude, all it takes, and this has been done, whether you're really big into TikToks or Reels or whatever, it's been proven that music can change everything with the scene. Some of the scariest movie scenes ever lose how scary they are because there's noise or because the track is different. So, one thing I think that New Empire didn't do the best, and a lot of people, I would say, probably are in the same camp, is the music is too similar to JVK. It's not that much different, and it loses a little bit of punch. And I still say the JVK soundtrack is also kind of not the best. It's not the worst. I have it. I own it. I don't listen to it very often. But I do have it, and I have listened to it a few times. The two soundtracks don't hit. Not like 2019. 2019 hits hard. Skull Island's and 2014's also really good. So, and that's not to discredit the artists for JVK or JXK, like, put a lot of time and effort into that music, and there are tracks and there are sequences that really work for me, but there's just some that it feels too far away. I'm glad that they tried. I'm glad that they took the risk, and that's all you can do with these things. It sucks being a fan and maybe getting a product you might not like, but at the same time, like, these companies have got to take the risks. Otherwise, we will get the same thing over and over again. And I don't know about you guys, but I really couldn't do 3. If the last 3 films have all been like King of the Monsters, I don't think I'd be even less impressed. King of the Monsters was special for 2019, and it was aging like sour milk. But I watched it a few times this year, and I wouldn't say it's like, ooh, skyrocketing back up, but it's like a little hump of being like, yeah, this, maybe I was a little harsh, not giving it too much credit, but, a little harsh on it. I don't think Junkie did that well on the soundtrack. He really missed his mark, I think. Could have been so much. I feel like some of the things that, some people complain about, I feel like if he had a few nuances to some classic Godzilla tracks, whether it be Ifukube or any other composer, even within the Monsterverse, some of those tracks alone, I feel like it would have just helped it a little bit more. But I can't dish the guy for also trying hard. I mean, that Godzilla theme is pretty cool until you hear it 10 times in each movie, and then it's kind of just, it loses its punch, That's kind of the problem with 2014. I feel like also that theme, the main theme, is, although it is changed a little bit, it doesn't hit quite as hard, Whereas like Eva and Shin Godzilla, they're using the same themes, and they're just changed, they're modernized, different tempos, different instruments, different sequences and stuff like that. Like Eva is known for that across all 4 movies in Shin Godzilla, and even Shin Ultraman as well has some more nuanced stuff in there. When the track itself, when the original track is really good, you can do those types of things, or it's very what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say vibrant, but like when the track itself has a lot of utility, it can be changed in different, it feels like it could have always been a different track. Like some of those other tracks in Eva, or like the Shin Godzilla, where the tracks are just the Eva tracks but renamed and they're different. They're a new accompaniment, they're redone as well. They're not just the literal tracks. They felt like they could have always been like that, even back in 95, 96 when Eva was coming out. Where like these Junkie tracks really feel like it's that moment at that time, and that's kind of it. Where the newer versions, the updated versions, kind of just don't mesh well, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm not trying to be too harsh on the guy, because once again, I respect the guy for trying. Like, he did his 2 films worth. He did his best, hopefully, and just didn't hit with me. I know with some people they do really like it, and there are tracks from JVK specifically that I really like. Just nothing matches too much with GXK. Excuse me. I keep saying GXK. I don't know why I do that. I've been doing that for like years as well. But I'm excited. I'm excited the new Monsterverse film has a new composer. We got a new director. I'm excited for the opportunities that could lead into. Which I will say the same thing about Godzilla Galaxy Odyssey. This is the first Godzilla manga in forever. I'm okay with the design. I want to see it in different panels. I don't want to be too harsh on it, because this is literally one panel. Although, to be fair, this is the panel that is supposed to sell the design and sell the concept to people before we get like a trailer or preview chapter, or preview pages, however they're going to decide to distribute this. So to be fair, I do understand that people aren't in love with it after this first look, because this is supposed to sell you. This is supposed to gauge interest. So like if the design doesn't hit, the design doesn't hit, but I'm cautiously optimistic with the design. I want to see it in motion. Of course, because this is a manga, you never know if it does well. We could see this animated, which would hurt, because that would probably suggest that Singular Point is fully on dead. If a different anime of Godzilla were to come out, but I'll let it be. I hope Singular Point isn't dead, but we've heard literally nothing. And you can still get the Bandai Movie Monster Series figures for like 400, 500 yen in bins in mass in Japan. You see them everywhere. I've seen many photos from many different people across all different social media pages. Dude, is a little silly. It's a little silly, which is sad, because the Godzilla forms are really cool. Like, you can still get Aquarius. You can get the Varan form, the Titanosaurus themed form, and the Megorosaurus form, which Now my brain is just like not remembering what they're called, which is funny because I play Battle Line, so at least Terrestris, excuse me, there we go. Don't go back to that classic review I made and watch me struggle to pronounce. So the last bit of news is even happening. We've never been told yes, and we haven't been told no. One thing we do know is that Singular Point was being like conceptualized before Shin Godzilla was happening. So there's I want to say a hopeful chance that they're not talking about it because it is in those infantry stages, even if it's been 4 years since premiere. It's actually literally been 4 years. I think it premiered in Japan in April, I believe, is when it started its run. It was either April or March. So it's been actually 4 years since Singular Point has come out. And then I believe it's May or the beginning of June. Beginning of June is when it premiered on Netflix. So I was a really big fan of it. I go and watch it. I probably watch Singular Point. I've kind of decreased, but when it was like out and still fresh, I was watching it at least once a month, all of it. It's fun. It was unique. It was different, and that's, there's a lot of concept things I can understand people don't like. I can also understand people just didn't really understand it. For me, it was kind of just one of those things where it's like, oh, I can't understand the legitimate science behind it, and that's A-okay. I just gotta trust that the characters legitimately know what they're talking about, which going on through reading interviews and watching what's his name, they recently started coming back and doing videos again. I can see their logo. I gotta look them up on my phone. They're the guys that do like all the behind the scenes footage stuff. They did a ton of things for Singular Point, like going in mass detail. Oh man, who was it? I can't remember who they are. They got like the mask emblem logo. Like I can literally hear. I can hear it, but I can't. It's at the tip of my tongue, so I'm just looking on my phone to see if I can see them. Maybe they deleted it or changed. No, they were definitely making content recently. Monstrosities, there we go. Monstrosities. They have a ton of videos about Singular Point and the behind the scenes stuff, and like proving that they literally were planning Singular Point and doing Singular Point stuff before Shin Godzilla. Like very, 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 very early design sketches and stuff like that. So, if it's going to take another 2 or 3 years for Singular Point season 2, at least I know that they're getting the legitimate sciences behind it. But with all that said, I probably should have saved the Battle Line news until tomorrow, but I'm not going to be able to stream tomorrow because now that I know that in 24 hours I'll be seeing Star Wars Episode 3 in theaters. I'm not going to be out until 10 o'clock. It's a weeknight, so I know people work early in the morning or go to school or have classes, whatever. I heard the guy from Monstrosity's gone for good and left the fandom and everything. Oh, really? Oh, damn. Maybe he came back and decided he didn't want in. That's crazy. If there's any backstory to it, I don't know it right now, so I'm going to say this without knowing anything, is pretty sad because he had a lot of like insight. He, between translating like newspaper articles and like newscasts and doing all of that and like actually getting to hear about some of the modern stuff about Godzilla. He even had some in-depth Shin Godzilla stuff. I would have been interesting to see about -1, but well, if he's gone, he's gone. That's pretty sad. Hopefully it was a healthy break, I hope so. Let's see. Did they even... What's the last video they uploaded? I swear they made a video saying that they were coming back. The last video was Godzilla 2, The Lost Chapter. I got some Kamen Rider stuff. Godzilla 02. Oh yeah, this is pre -1 stuff. Yeah, this is when pre -1 and pre New Empire. Yeah. Yeah, no, I swear he made a video. Maybe he did, and then just decided it wasn't worth it. Damn. Well, hey, hopefully it was a good break. Sometimes you just got to do that. You know, sometimes you just got to enjoy your hobby privately, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. I know quite a few collectors that did have a social media, and now they just don't. They just, I mean, hell, they don't even really talk to me about what they feel about figures. They're just like, yeah, I got this, and it's like, oh yeah, that's cool. It's like, yeah, cool, and that's it. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. You know, if that's what it takes to enjoy these properly without hearing like, sometimes as like a Monster Arts collector, sometimes it's sometimes there for a while. When I was getting back into it, it almost felt better just to not make videos and talk about Monster Arts because I just didn't want to deal with the highest stuff. Um, because I didn't want to deal with the high debates and complaining and all that. So it almost was better to enjoy Monster Arts off camera. But, you know, if you enjoy something and you want to be public about it, do it as well. Do whatever makes yourself happy. Got to push the haters away and not listen. Half the time they're just there to actually just piss you off. I remind myself with that, with this community, especially speaking of Battle Line, like people just kind of, excuse me, want to do it to piss people off because getting a reaction is funny, I guess. I have no clue. That's what I heard. Yeah. Neither do I. So, well, that's sad, but if he's happier because of it, then all I can say is props to him. Props to him. We're gonna been live for an hour. I thought we might be live for 2 hours, but I guess with news stuff, like there's not like a lot of crazy things going on because like the -1 stuff isn't really new, and the Odyssey stuff. Although like we got a photo, we finally get to see the design. That's about it. But Battleline did drop last night. I was right there when this dropped too. I remember I opened up Facebook right before going to bed, and I almost woke my girlfriend up because I was squealing like a little girl when they showed off. We're finally getting a new Shin Godzilla. This is my own screenshot from their little 10-second trailer. This is an alternate character. I believe the next photo shows it. Yeah, the next photo shows it. It's got the alternate right there. What the hell is Godzilla Store gonna live stream again? They just seem to do it every now and then. They're definitely, yeah. I don't know. Maybe next month. They seem to have taken a break from it, which is pretty sad because I felt like even on like the slower months, where it was just kind of like a few Marathon exclusive repaints and like maybe a Godzilla Store exclusive or two, it was really cool. I guess maybe they don't want to because they just want to drop these throughout the month when they want. Also, although it's a Japanese stream for the Japanese viewers, there's no like there are some translations obviously in the comments. I think things with tariffs and some pretty disheartening updates. I'm gonna be honest, they probably are more hesitant to do it because now they have lost a huge chunk of customers. I don't have any numbers or sheets, but I would say that the US is probably the second highest Godzilla product buying country in the world. I would say we are probably number 2, if not China. Obviously, Japan is first. We do not beat them in Godzilla product sales, but it's China or us. I don't really know. I'm pretty sure we're number 2, but there's so many more people in China as well. A lot of the products are made there. Easy to do. Hey, Servo, how's it going, buddy? But for Battleline, we do have Shin Godzilla here, orthochromatic version, which is an alternate version of the original Shin Godzilla. He will just be in 4th form. It looks like he's got some AoE. It looks like this only hits the sky. The other thing they show in the trailer, I should have brought it actually up. I was going to do that, and then I ended up forgetting to do that. When it's just a singular target, he actually hits with his tail and his mouth at the same time. I think the big thing is just look at how wide this attack range is. fucking huge. I'll just say that it's huge. I love those streams. Yeah, no, I'm in the same way, Alex. I would personally prefer them to actually do it all the time. I would every month. I even though I don't buy like Bandai's anymore, I'm not buying Safubi anymore. Just literally Monster Arts, and they don't normally show off Monster Arts during their streams. I would still rather have them do it because it was so much fun. Because I would get in calls with my homeboys, on Discord, and we'd all watch it together, or we would or there was the chances of being able to possibly stream it as well, which is something I was looking forward to. I think I did do that once. I think I did stream it once. I'm pretty sure, or at least my reactions. So we did like a watch along type thing. So, because I don't know what the copyright is for that, and then they do use Godzilla music, and and Toho is like one of the craziest companies when it comes to copyright. They either leave your channel alone or they copy strike you down into the ground. They will destroy your channel in an instant, and they will not hesitate to. So, I'm pretty safe with Toho. If I ever get a copyright claim on a video and it deals with Godzilla, if it says Toho, I immediately, I've done it before. I've taken the video down, and I have reworked a whole video because of it. It's a lot more interactive, and vibe is just fun too. Not to mention, the girls are pretty silly. I really like the guy who does it. The two main guys that do it are so funny. All the outfits, like there's that. I wish I would have to go through my iCloud, and I'm not gonna go through my iCloud on stream. There's a photo that we got one of the last times where he's like wearing like the hat with like the ears, but then it also kind of has like ponytails dragging down, and he's like making a crying face, and it's like, dude, it's so funny. It's so funny. Those were, even not knowing or understanding Japanese almost basically at all, like one or two words maybe every 20-30 minutes for me, maybe, because things are kind of a little different, in different sentences, kind of like English. Like, they were still so much fun. That's the other thing. Not only were they fun in a group of people watching them, but they were also fun solo. Like, I could literally just sit here at home. Initially, when they first started doing them, I wasn't like Discord savvy or anything, so I wasn't like in group calls with my friends, and it was literally just me texting them on Instagram and like sharing screenshots. Those were some of the most fun nights of my life. And because I was an overnight guy, if I wasn't working... Oh, hi, Tater. Hey, Booba. Hey, Pookie. Hey, Pookie. Because I wasn't not a content creator, because we weren't in a call with each other, but I was the overnight guy, I'd be the guy to get all the screenshots, get the information, send it to the group chat, and deliver it so the boys would know what to do in the morning, for the specifics. But, now multiple of us are on overnights, or Adam and... others are in different time zones, like Jacob. Jacob has KU, so they're basically, someone's always on top of it there most of the time. KU is very quick, dude. Impressive how much they've grown over the last, it's crazy, for the last few years. Like, KU's impressive, dude. I don't give them enough shout outs, but KU's incredible. If you guys need a news, kaiju news site, Kaiju United. 100%. I got their back, man. They're great. They're just fun, dude. It makes me sad that I might not be able to make it to G-Fest, because I want to see my friends. I'm sure I've mentioned this on stream before. I'm not going to AMA. I just, health-wise and a few other things, it's just not in the right place right now. Also, not to be too negative, but I am really not happy with the way that AMA 3 has turned out to be. I'm not happy with the guest lists, personally. I'm not happy with kind of the lack of communication. the copy and paste posts every day or every other day saying that things are going to sell out when we're 2 weeks away from the convention and things are obviously not going to sell out. Or a week. It's only a week. It's next Friday. Holy shit. When things are obviously not going to sell out. Don't sit here and tell me that vendor tables and VIP tickets are going to sell, and they're obviously not going to sell out. Like, I don't, you know, I that's the it's the nice thing and it's the curse about announcing a convention 8 or 9 months before it actually happens. It's a risk. One, you give people plenty of time to be able to decide if they can or can't go. But at the same time, there's so much time that so much can happen, kind of like me, where my plan was to go, and now I can't. I just can't. Between health, I don't know what that was. I felt like something was eating my face. Probably Tater being a Dementor. Silly boy. AMA, All Monsters Attack 3 in Chicago next week, the 9th through the 11th. Also, probably a reason why people did. I mean, I just joke. It's been over 20 years, but still, tragedy. But like, I guess I don't even think I've really talked about that. I think I've just said that I'm not going. My thing is, it's always been a pop culture convention. They've always have included that wording in their statements, but at the same time, they have placated and they have dedicated their guest rosters to kaiju conventions and kaiju collectors and fans since the very first one. The first 3 conventions, 1, 2, 2.5, have all been kaiju dominant heavy. So when you're advertising this thing with -1 for a month or two, for a few weeks, and you're teasing that this is going to be the greatest kaiju convention ever, and then you have 20 plus guests and only 3 of them are kaiju tokusatsu, you're just not going to get someone like me. That's not disrespect to all the other guests that are there. I'm sorry, TMNT, not my thing. The movies, don't care. It's just not my thing. Same thing with X-Men. Don't care. It's not my hobby. Not what I'm interested in. It is cool for everyone who likes those things, and being able to get basically almost the whole cast from the live action. I think it's the first movie of TMNT, the first live action, the second movie. One of the two. I think it's basically everyone. It's the 4 turtles now. They got the last one, the greatest convention. Yeah. And then Shredder. I think Splinter was gonna be. I don't know. Mainly the 4 turtles and Shredder are all gonna be there, and that is really cool. For anyone who's a TMNT fan, boom, that's a lot of signatures off your list. For X-Men animated fans and X-Men 90 or 97, whatever the newer Disney Plus show was that came out last year or the year before, whatever it was. I don't know. I don't care about X-Men. I like Marvel, but like it's kind of like Star Wars, where there's so much shit coming out that I just can't. It's too much. It's too much. Even though both have respectively now slowed down. Like, I finished the Clone Wars. I've got episode 3 to watch, and like, I'm kind of stressing out about like, well, what am I gonna do now? Am I going to go and watch Solo, Rogue One, Andor, and then 4, 5, 6, and then watch Rebels and watch this or that? Or am I just gonna watch 4, 5, 6 after 3? Am I gonna watch Rogue One at least? But if I watch Rogue One, I should watch Andor, but Andor's not done. Like, there's too much, and Marvel's the same thing. Like, sorry, Moon Knight, not my favorite character. Cool concept. I like the idea, but like, it took me forever to watch Winter Soldier. It took me forever to watch. I actually did watch Hawkeye as it was coming out, so I can't say Hawkeye, because I was going through like a bump back up. But like, if it's not Spider-Man or really like ensemble cast, like, I just don't really care anymore. I'm gonna be honest. I feel bad for saying that, but like it's just too much content. Like, oh, it's one 10 episode show every few months, but like you have to keep up with everything going on. Like you can't. I feel like with Marvel and Star Wars, like you can't just be like, oh, something's coming out, and then you just ghost it until it comes out. Like, and then maybe that's a me problem. I just like being involved with things. I like being involved with hobby. I love the build up to a new release. Like this -1 stuff. Now it's like, oh, okay, this is officially it's a sequel. This is exciting. Now it's like, oh, well, now I'm just kind of like, now we're gonna probably for the rest of the year, I would guess we're probably gonna be kind of like riding a little bit of a wave. I would guess by the end of the year, by anniversary 71st anniversary, we're going to be figuring out if it's coming out next year for 2026 or if it's going to be delayed till 2028. Because as of right now, there's still a semi-agreement with Toho and Legendary that 2 films can't come out the same year. So that means the 6th. Yeah, the 6th. Yeah, the 6th MonsterVerse film. I had a count in my head. Wait, how many there are? The 6th MonsterVerse film, coming out on the 2027. Unless something changes with this deal, which obviously that could have happened, could happen. We don't know for sure until they announce it. Until they say that they're gonna release both movies the same year. It's probably better to plan that they won't. So, and that film has 2027 locked in. So we either get the sequel by 2026 or we don't see it till 2028. It is one or the other. And I think we'll know by the end of the year. I mean, looking at -1, that was a pretty quick turnaround. We had it announced, and then it was out within a year's time. It's pretty damn impressive, okay? But obviously there's more budget, more expectation. That was the chair. That wasn't me. If that was me, I would say excuse you. Or excuse me. That was the chair. This chair is going to break for how much I've had to sit in it the last 6 months. It's ridiculous. But I'm pretty excited for the -1 sequel. Okay. I'm excited for Battle Line. I'm excited for people to get these collectibles in their hands, all these new ones. I'm excited to get Omega in my hands. I got the Super Saiyan Goku, the Cell game, or the Games Begin Goku. It sold out in 10 seconds on AmiAmi. And then it was sold out for like 30-40 minutes, and then they got more orders in. I'm going to check to see if they actually got more in. Because one, I'm not surprised, but they did put a limit on it. I think they said it could only be 2. Pretty sure they said only 2 this time. They normally do 3 or 4. It's closed again. Yeah, so, which isn't surprising. This is a one of. Okay, never mind. This is a one of. This is a one of ship. That's crazy to me. One of. We can shift this back. Look at that. Yeah. One per customer. Very popular. It makes sense. It is definitely the best looking Super Saiyan Goku ever in SHF history, so that's not a surprise. General Grievous still in stock. General Grievous pre-orders closed. Son of a bitch. I didn't pre-order him because I was like $118, and the other item so far that's in my November AmiAmi box is also candidly pretty expensive, so I was gonna wait, but now he is sold out. That sucks for me, but hey, if they just want to re-release episode 3 Anakin again, I guess I'll just live with Obi-Wan and Anakin, so I'm not too pressed. Although, Grievous is one of my favorite Star Wars characters. I'm very excited to see him on the big screen again. It has been 20 damn long years, or almost 20 years since I've seen this film, Star Wars episode 3, so I'm pretty excited. I'm kind of glad that my girlfriend actually wanted to go, and then obviously we're going tomorrow. Cinemax has discount Tuesdays, because if I were to go tonight, if she didn't want to go and see a different movie, I'd be 10 minutes late, which I guess if I left right now, they'd probably still be playing the beginning of the movie ads, because they've been doing, like, I don't know about you guys, my theater plays like almost 20 minutes of ads before every single goddamn film. It is the most annoying, most frustrating process. I am so done with it. Not my favorite thing ever. I don't want them to continue doing it. And they should. Oh, I'll leave it there. I was gonna say some maybe not nice some things. I get they gotta, it's advertisement money. I get it. It's good for the theaters. It helps pay the wages of the workers. I get it, but damn it, dude, it makes going to the movies kind of sucky, especially when it's like a 3-hour movie, and then you're watching 20 minutes of ads beforehand, and then it's like, oh, we could shave like 10 minutes at the end. Nope, because now every single goddamn movie has to have a mid-credit scene and an after-credit scene. Everyone's expecting it. Thanks, Marvel. You know? That's my movie theater rant, though. I love going to the movies, but yeah, it's been slightly more annoying to do that recently because of just the extra to it. And the movies have also been super expensive. And between like movies being like $11-12 a lot of times, like, I know tomorrow night's discount night, but I'm pretty sure after 4 they actually are $6. I gotta look at my tickets. I actually gotta buy them really quick for Star Wars, because I down to the last 2 days that it's available. I think she said $7.40, so we're gonna see what this is gonna cost me right here. Oh, most of the good seats are taken too. Shit. I might try to see if she wants to go a little earlier. Yeah, if we go at 4 o'clock, the price doesn't change. There's still $5.25. But yeah, that 7 o'clock showing is like booked. That's my other pet peeve with movie theaters. I like that we can go and, we can go grab our tickets now, but like, I have to be dead center, and I have to be in a certain row, because I can't mess with my neck, and I have to be able to see the whole screen, or at least try to, because half the time I'm not really sober when I go to the movie theaters. We get a little blazed. Unless I'm the one driving, then I don't, obviously. We drive safe. But like, I gotta be able to, while I'm not in the most sober mindset, be able to see the whole screen. So I gotta be like pretty far back, not all the way in the back, because I don't want to catch everything else. It's that sweet middle spot, normally like the row I, J, sometimes the K row if we have to, where this, it's like from the handicap spots up, all of it's gone. So we would be like off-centered, and that just bother me. So I'm gonna see if maybe she wants to go at 4:20. 4:20 Star Wars Episode 3. Okay. That actually sounds like the plan. I'm gonna once we're done with stream, I'll stop looking at my phone on screen. It's rude. I know. Especially when it's only been an hour and a half. It makes sense if I stream like 5-6 hours a day, because then it's like, well, I'm missing out on conversation or business things, or just conversations with my girlfriend while she's at work on break. But seeing as this is only an hour and a half, this isn't really like a pull away from my personal life. It's still pretty light. I am surprised we made it this long, though. I did plan for a 2-hour stream, but then I was like, well, I'm not gonna play Battleline. I thought about doing it, but like, I can't talk and play Battleline at the same time. Tomorrow's the last day. I'll admit, I've been playing a little bit last night, and I played a little bit today. I am like almost tier 40. I was at tier 20 when I started. I've been losing a lot, so it kind of makes me not want to live stream it, but maybe tomorrow I might do a Battleline stream, just to chill, talk about this. By this time tomorrow, well, no, because I also have my date night, so yeah, no stream tomorrow, because I'm going to be hanging out with Larissa throughout the day, and then we'll go to the movie, especially if we're going early. So yeah, no stream tomorrow. So when the new units drop, we might do a stream the day of, and I'll give you my opinions, because I am curious to see what the second unit is going to be. with the Shin Godzilla being an alternate. They haven't done a double alternate season, if I'm not mistaken, where at least there's not one brand new unit that's not an alternate. And they give the amount of days before a new season starts to do a new unit, because they do one at a time unless they accidentally leak it in the post, which this time they didn't, I don't think. So I don't know what the other unit's going to be. Shin is definitely an interesting choice before Anniversary. I would have maybe, I'm a little Shin biased, but I would have said Anniversary probably be Shin Godzilla. So whatever's coming for Anniversary in June at the end of May is going to be crazy. If you want my bet, I would say probably a Showa Godzilla, I think, is more than due. But we'll let Battle Line cook. I guess. Or not cook, because all the legendary stuff goes away. The Gamera Rebirth stuff goes away. So who knows? Who knows what's coming? But. That's all I got to say about that. We'll see. I guess that's kind of it for me. I don't have a lot left. Unless there's something I missed. Anyone might be still watching, have anything extra they want to discuss or talk about, down to stay. Otherwise, if you guys have had enough of me for the night, I have got some Pokemon Nuzlocke I gotta continue watching, because I'm terrible at them myself. I can never make myself stick to the rules, so I end up failing everyone I try to do, which my current playthrough of Diamond was supposed to be a Nuzlocke, and then I would have immediately died right at the beginning, and I just was like, nope, we're just gonna play it. Screw it. No more Nuzlocke. And then it turned into a complete Dex challenge. So that is, I'm still doing a challenge, but not as hard. But that's it from me. Oh, I want to thank everyone for supporting the Mecha Gigantron SH Figure Arts review. Holy shit. Number one video I've released in the last 10 videos. So the last 10 videos that I've posted on my channel, which isn't that many, all things considered. Let me look at my content. What is it fighting? So we got Gigantron, Shimo review, Scar King review, Ortho Shin, Dokkan Summons, Heat Ray -1, the Frog Tree, the Figure Arts unboxing I cut down, Dokkan Summon and Dokkan Summon. So it's everything from this year. I've only uploaded 10 videos this year. I didn't even realize that yet. This Mecha Gigantron is number 1. It is kicking everything's ass by a long shot. It is doing better than most of the other reviews have up until this point. It's doing better than some videos did last year, even now. So we're talking about videos that have been out for like 6 months, since November. This video is doing better. So that is all thanks to you guys. So thank you guys for supporting that video. I hope I was able to show off how epic Mecha Gigantron is, because it is one of the most beastly figures this year and ever. I'm in love with it. It's currently sitting right down here on my Dragon Ball shelf because it's a little too big to keep up on here, especially when I'm streaming. We tried that last night with the Dokkan Summons, and that did not go well. Which my Dokkan Summons have been trash. Not surprised. So Golden Week's normally not a really good time for me. Last year I didn't even get the Goku or Horugan, so yeah. I guess if I don't get hit, I don't get hit, which sucks because he's a festival battle killer, but it is what it is. So, but yeah. And I'm going to actually say this here. I kind of said it last night, but I'm probably not going to be streaming Dokkan for a while. There's not a lot of interest for it, and I feel like, when I was first doing it for Anniversary and stuff, like there was the hype with Anniversary. I feel like a lot of the hype for Dokkan's been dead for this year. After Anniversary, they kind of spoiled us a little too much, I feel like. There's been a lot of complaining in the Dokkan community. I'm not of that opinion. I definitely haven't been playing it quite as much, because when I play, I tend to want to spend money, and that's not what we want to do. And I already kind of went and spent a little bit too much for Cell, you know, to get pity. I didn't spend a lot. I only spent like $20, but like that's $20, you know. So I'm trying not to spend a lot of money on the game, and that's really hard for me to control when I'm playing it. So I'm trying not to play it unless I can get stones. So there's still some grinding, some events stuff I got to do. I did finish the rotation we ended on last night. I got a Daima Goku, so he's almost done. He's at 90% now, so that's a good thing. But that was it. I need hit. I need hit really bad. So, but I'm probably not gonna stream Dokkan until something hype happens, because this is supposed to be a hype celebration, and the whole community kind of is not digging it, which I don't blame them. Hit's really cool and is really good, but the Kaioken Goku is bad and not fun, and that's in and of itself makes the celebration bad. When the Dokkan Fest unit or units are not fun or highly engaging, no one's interested, you know. And that makes sense, you know, because even I'm not like that hyped. I'm just not, you know. Even before the summon started, I was just like, okay. You know, I was just like, okay, hits good, but he's only really good in like long events, and the Goku's bad. Goku's not very good, which sucks, because that Goku is probably the best battle motion animation in the game. He looks awesome on the screen, but you know, sorry. So I'm probably not gonna stream Dokkan. I might do it for Tanabata this year, so the end of June, start of July, or that global anniversary celebration, as it might be known from now on. And like worldwide, I'll definitely stream, but we might go dormant with Dokkan, and some of that's going to be just me not summoning on the Dokkan Fest. You know, learning to pinch my stones. Like I'm already considering not summoning for hit anymore and just saying, oh well, and just saving stones, because once Tanabana comes out, we'll definitely have a new hopefully a new top contender for the game. So, but yeah, otherwise, outside of that stuff, gonna try to consistently stream Battleline for the future, Godzilla Battleline, because it's Godzilla related. You guys seem a little bit more interested in Battleline, and Battleline's anniversary is literally the season after this next one. So whatever this Shin Ortho and whatever the duo unit or the other unit is for it, and then its anniversary. It'll be what, fifth anniversary? Holy shit! 5 years of Battleline. Has it been 5 years of Battleline? Is Battleline 5 years old? There's no fucking way. It's got to be only the 4th anniversary, right? There's no way. Four-year anniversary. Yeah. Yeah, okay. It's the 4th anniversary. I was gonna say, like, there's no way this is the 5th. There's no way this is the 5th anniversary. There's no way. It'll be the 4th anniversary this year. So, pretty crazy. I'm excited to see who they bring. The last 2 years have been collaborations with the legendary units, and the first year was Shin. So, and the fact that Shin is releasing right before anniversary is kind of scary, because usually the units that release right before the season, right before, are like not the best. So they're not normally bad. Like one of the units is always pretty good, but normally is better down the line. And then the second unit needs buffs to get up to where they should be. I'm really thinking of Kiryu Goji. It's Kiryu Goji and Aqua Mothra, if I'm not mistaken. And Aqua Mothra was good, although a lot of people didn't think she was that great. I still like her. I mean, I think she's great right now. She's a great, just like, do some quick damage. If she gets killed, she gets killed. If she doesn't get killed, she gives the energy. But Ortho Shin better be the one that's better of the two, but just kind of looking at that video, I'm not the fact that the AoE doesn't hit ground units, which it makes sense, but like that's what the tail is for. Have the tail swing around to hit the ground units. You know, we'll see, and then whatever comes out with it, um, which I have no idea. I can't remember what the tease was for this next season, or if they've even done a tease for this season. They might not. So, yeah, I'm gonna try to stream Battleline a little bit more consistently. Hopefully, I just really go in and out in a season. 30 days for a season. It's kind of rough. I need my breaks, so we'll see. We'll see. Otherwise, that's it from me. I'm gonna stop restarting the conversation. I think we're good here. I want everyone to have a wonderful night, a wonderful week. I won't see you guys tomorrow live. I might find a short to post. Like I might post my Ultraman, my SH Figure Arts Ultraman setup and my new Monster Arts setup. We might. We'll have to see. I have to put Mecha Gigantron down first to be able to do that. So we'll see if I get to that. And then kids are being loud outside again. Holy moly. I'm sure you guys can hear that music a little bit. It's wild. Yeah. So you might get like a short tomorrow that I might work on tonight before I go to bed. And then after that, like nothing from me until Wednesday when the SH Figure Arts King of Mons figure review releases. That's what I forgot to talk about. I got a notice from Nin Games that my Gamera is not going to be getting here as soon as I had hoped. They messed something up, which is funny because they did that with the Shin Ortho Chromatic Monster Arts. So that's 2 for 2 on Monster Arts figures from them that they've messed up shipping info. So they said that when they get their next batch of them, I'll be getting that because I ordered it last month. So they go in chronological order. So that makes sense. You know, I was one of the last people to pre-order one, so it makes sense that I would get mine last. That does make sense. So I'm not dishing them for that. But it's just the fact that they updated it, said that it was getting ready, and then it's like, actually, no, sorry, we didn't mean to do that. And it's like, okay. And then we did talk about it a little bit last night, but AmiAmi is now delaying DHL shipping use until May 9th and may possibly not be doing DHL shipping after that. We don't necessarily know why besides tariffs. So, which we kind of didn't even really talk about here. I meant to talk about that, but I guess I'll just delete that out of the video for the most part. I'll leave a little statement here at the end. Tariffs are running its course. There's been some actual professional charts on toy companies and toy sales, and because most toys are made in China, things for the companies that are able to stay afloat, like Hasbro, Bandai, you know, the big companies, things are about to get really expensive, and I mean very expensive within the next few months. Even if not the listing price, but the tariff cost. Like Haya figures, if Haya is able to survive, and this is a legitimate concern. The main concern is with a lot of the graphs and stuff is showing that if you're not one of the big companies, you are probably not going to make it by the end of the year financially, which is really, really scary. So that, you know, for me, that, I mean, Haya's part of that. Haya's doing really well. They're very successful. They put out a lot of figures, but they're not Bandai. They're not Hasbro. You know, they're not multi-billion-dollar companies. It's not a multi-billion-dollar company. They do have a lot of, you know, licensing and stuff, but most companies are starting to delay things, and there's a very good chance that things are going to get even more delayed. From Tamashii, from Marvel Legends, you know, all these different lines, there's a good chance that things are going to start getting delayed for the U.S. customer side of things. So like Big Bad Toy Store, probably going to take a hit. E-Media Night, Entertainment Earth, these companies are going to be hit, and it's the companies that are smaller that aren't quite as large, like Big Bad Toy Store, and I would say even Big Bad Toy Store is probably also going to be looking bad. So one thing I'm going to recommend to people, and I'm going to make sure that I'm doing this year as well, if you can, once again, I got to remind myself to do this too, because like I've been saying, I've only been able to get so many figure arts and monster arts lately from Amazon because they've been on sale. If there's not a sale on Amazon and I'm going to buy a figure, I need to be doing it from Beasts of the East, Toku Collectibles, the smaller businesses, Kaiju Live. If you guys want to support your companies, make sure they make it through. You're going to have to buy from them. They're going to need our help with tariffs and everything. They're the ones that are going to be seeing it the most. So I'm definitely going to be I'm going to be making more orders through Beast of the East if I can, for sure. They get a lot of monster arts. They have quite a few monster arts right now that I need to get. They've got like the Gamma 3. They've still got Monster X. They've got a few others that I would really like to add to my collection before they sell out, because they kind of are harder to find. If I can't get Gamera from them, I can still get Gamera from Big Bad Toy Store. But once again, I'm trying to support our more exclusive sellers, where Beast of the East is mostly just tokusatsu and kaiju stuff, mostly Bandai's movie monster series, monster arts. They dip into SH figure arts and some of the Ultraman stuff as well, the figure arts there and stuff. So definitely be making sure you're purchasing from them. I'm probably going to do a larger video or stream or something to that. So with more facts, maybe might reach out, see if people are comfortable talking about it, or at least like doing like a written interview or something to help showcase how hard it might be turning for these companies, for our smaller businesses in our collection. Companies that are by collectors, made by collectors for collectors, to help collectors. We're not trying to dish Big Bad Toy Store, because that's also what Big Bad Toy Store stood for originally, and although they are a major business now, that still is their business model, where like Amazon, Walmart, Target, they're just there to get your money. They don't give a shit about us. As long as we give them money, they don't really care. So, and that's kind of something I have admittingly felt bad about behind the scenes, about getting things from Amazon. It's like, well, but when something's $20 to $40 off its listing price, like, and it ships within 2 days and will get here most of the time within 2 days, that is hard to argue. But I gotta lead by example myself. So I'm gonna be going out, finding places that are getting some of these figures that I'm looking for, Ultra Dad, some of the monster arts I'm missing, and I'm going to eventually, once we're a little bit more in an okay zone, we'll be trying to buy from them more, to help support them, to make sure that we're helping our fellow collectors and the companies that are working really, really hard to still bring us really good deals on figures. So that's it from me. Hopefully that wasn't too rantish. I just, if there's an option to buy from the smaller stores, to help our fellow collectors, I just ask that people would do that. So nothing, not sponsored, nothing. That is just coming 100% from my heart and from past business expenses. I have only had good experiences with Beast of the East, Toku Collectibles, Toku Toy Town, businesses in that realm. So make sure if you can, support them when you can. Maybe instead of buying from Big Bad Toy Store and Amazon, like I said, I'm pretty sure Big Bad Toy Store will be fine, and Amazon 100% will be fine, because they're part of the issue as well. So, but that's it from me. Thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful night. Have a great week. I will see you guys I won't see you guys live on Wednesday unless something crazy happens. Maybe some Battle Line stuff, I guess, maybe. Otherwise, King of Mons review, and then we'll see what happens the rest of the week. Excuse me. I wanted to end the stream before that yawn, because I felt that yawn, but I did not finish it out. So, I apologize. Tater, also saying bye. He says he wants attention. Probably wants to play. Maybe go outside again. Who knows? But we are signing out here. Take care, everyone. Peace.